black supremacy. And with this particular video, I want to talk about stop looking for the perfect leader and start looking for leaders with the perfect imperfections and leaders that are perfect in their imperfections. I gotta run that by you again. Stop looking for perfect leaders and start looking for leaders with the perfect imperfection that are perfect in their imperfection. Now this has to be said, this is very important, because our problem with our leaders that we tend to like, we tend to support, that are mainstream, that everybody gets behind, are the ones that appear to be the most perfect. They appear to be the most righteous. They appear to be the most biblical, the most Quranic, the most well-mannered, the gentlemen, very meek. These are the leaders that you all like, and they stay afloat because they just seem so perfect. And even if they're not perfect, it seems as though they have made the perfect effort to be perfect. Like they're giving it everything they got to be as perfect in your eyes as a human being can possibly become. The problem with that is that no one is going to be perfect in the eyes of everyone. In the eyes of everyone is imperfect. Some people like us, some people don't. Some people see valor in us and some people don't. It's always going to be that way. So the attempt to be perfect to everyone, to appear to be perfect to everyone, is to be unprincipled and to have no real values. And it's trying to be someone to everyone, trying to win a popularity contest, trying to be likable by everybody. You can't stand for a damn thing if you're trying to tippy-toe around everyone and everything. When you look for perfect leaders, you're not going to have a revolution, because someone who everybody can agree, well, that's a pretty good guy, that's a pretty good nice guy, that person ain't going to stir the boat. They're not going to rock this shit. They're not going to move anything. They'll leave everything untouched, and it'll be just the way they left it, and it might even look a little better. But it's those leaders with those imperfections that you perceive, that stir up everything, that they might be able to cause a revolution because they shake up your paradigm. They attack your comfort zone because you just can't put it all in context. You can't conceptualize. And that's how divinity is. That's how divinity truly is. It's beyond human conception. But we attempt to conceptualize, and we only accept that which we can conceptualize, and that's what we deem to be perfect, but not realize that that which is divine is beyond our conception. And the type of leadership we need can be kind of idiosyncratic, peculiar. The type of leader could be unusual, but that's a sign of change. An unusual message, a peculiar message, an idiosyncratic way of doing things, like you've never seen before, but bringing about a result that is needed, that is necessary. You're looking for perfect leaders. You want what you're used to. You want what you've grew up with. You want what seems normal to you. You don't want change. Malcolm X said if you knew what a revolution really was, you would jump back in the alley, because revolutions are bloody. Revolutions are violent, but not just violent in a physical way, but violent to your paradigms, violent to your conceptual framework, violent to your matrix way of perceiving reality. It can be very violent and very destructive. to your paradigm. It can turn off your programming. It can disrupt the programming for you. It's those imperfections that makes you notice subtle changes and subtle differences. For it to be perfect means that it is congruent, that it correlates with everything that has been before it. It fits the symmetry. It fits the symmetry of the matrix. It interweaves and is in alignment with what's already there, but it's the slight imperfection that lets you know that we're moving into a new pattern. We're moving into something else, that things are subtly changing. Your perfect leaders are looked at as perfect by everybody. They look at as perfect by the police department, perfect by social services, perfect by politicians, perfect by your preachers, perfect by your bankers. Everybody accepts them and shakes their hand in all of those different walks of life. They're not going to change anything. You need a leader with the exact amount of perfections, the precise imperfections. Let me say this properly. You need a leader with the precise amount of imperfections to stir up and cause a radical shift in this paradigm. Look for leaders with the perfect imperfection. You can look at some people and know that they're not going to stir up a damn thing. They're so nice and smiling and beguiling. Everything they say is what you want to hear. Everything they do is what you think should be done. And everything that you want to hear and think should be done is keeping your ass in slavery. Which is why you're making the same decisions that you're making every day, going against your own judgment of being a free human being and a free individual. Based on your judgment and what you think and what you want to hear. You're making a decision to be in the matrix. You're making a decision to be under the devil every goddamn day, feeling that you can somehow prosper, and you feel that you're making the right decision, and you want to align with others that you feel are making right decisions. But the right decisions that they make are not revolutionary decisions. They're not stirring up a goddamn thing. They're not creating no change. And we're guaranteed to be in the same condition that we were in 400 years ago. That history will repeat itself. As we can see certain social events and things occurring that bear witness that history is repeating itself. And we're going right back to the 50s and the 40s. So you need a leader with the perfect imperfections. A leader that you know is going to stir this shit up. A leader that you know is already against the fucking grain. They got to be against the grain. They have to be in opposition in the way that they are constructed. That's the only proof that there's going to be some type of transformation. But you seeing somebody that's smooth and gelling with everything and shucking and jiving and smiling and beguiling and just everything just seems so right, and it just seems just like your pastor. It just seemed like what you've already seen before. You've already been around now before. It seems like that. And you say, well, that's perfect. You ain't doing too much, and you might be doing just enough. That's not going to change nothing. You need a leader with the perfect imperfections. That's going to change things. That's just not going to fit in. You need a leader that is reflective and representative of a rebellion. You must have all the trademarks of a rebel. Must have all the trademarks of that which is against the grain, that which is against the norm, and so in opposition, and so different, and so antagonistic that they cannot be broken, and that it will have to be a revolution for them to continue to exist. It will have to be change for them to continue to exist. They will not give in that it is impossible, that they are that different, that radically different, and that perfect in their imperfections, that they cannot be moved. And then you have an uncompromising leader that represents change. You have the type of resistance that produces revolutions. So you better pray that the leaders, and hope that the leaders that you have selected or that you have found favor in have the perfect imperfections to prove that they are really and truly against this shit. That they're not just talking a good game, but they totally in alignment with everyone who is complied, everyone who is conformed, everyone who is assimilated, that they're completely in alignment at the end of the day, that they are a cookie cutter version of the human zombie, of the human farm animal. You better hope that they have the perfect imperfections, and you should praise when you find those perfect imperfections that said, you know what, there's something different here. I ain't quite seen this. This something else. Ain't no way a nigga like that is going along with the bullshit. Ain't no way a nigga like that is going along with the programming, with the system. This is a totally different type of entity right here. If you can't say that about your leaders, your fate ain't looking that good. Our fate as far as change and revolution is not looking that good. It's not looking that good. You still asleep. Your leaders must have the perfect imperfections that makes them different than the shit that is going on today in society, than the direction that is going. And it must go in a completely new direction. And there must be new insight, new understanding, new perception, new direction, new culture, new consciousness. It has to be that. And you might not know the perfect imperfections because your mind have not been idiosynchronized like that. You don't even know how to recognize that. But you better hope that the leaders that you have got behind have the perfect imperfections that it's going to take to change things and manifest a new reality on this earth for black people and for human consciousness as a whole. So why are you so judgmental? You're judging from the programming. And the programming is set up to keep things going the way they have been going. And to keep you to recognize what has already been recognized. The program is set up to maintain the matrix. It's set up to maintain the construct. So your leader must be outside of that construct. So they must look imperfect to you. Because that means that they don't fit in with everything that you have been programmed to accept, that force you to participate in your own enslavement happily and willingly every single day of your damn life. Admitting that you do not have the courage and heart to do better or to do different. And that you cannot conceptualize the righteousness and an act of rebellion or even civil disobedience against your oppressor. And against the system, against Babylon. You need a leader with the perfect imperfections. Your paths are perfect, supposedly. All your leaders are perfect. Boy Scouts. That's why we ain't had no change. That's why ain't nothing changed. We try to be too perfect. And we're not trying to be perfect. We're trying to look perfect to those that are asleep. We're trying to look perfect to the world, to this illusion, to Babylon. We're trying to look perfect to their world. It's not about true perfection, because true perfection is the destruction of their reality. Because there's nothing perfect going on in this world as it relates to black people, the chosen people. There's nothing perfect about this world as it relates to the original inheritors of this planet, the maker and owners, the cream of the planet Earth. Is nothing perfect as is related to our situation. So we don't want to reach the true state of perfection because that's revolutionary. That's going against the grain. We just want to look perfect to this world and be considered perfect. But that's just going along to get along. You better pray and hope that your leaders got the perfect imperfection. Look for leaders with the perfect imperfection where you know it's about to fucking go down. It's Kingdom of Black Supremacy.